Hey guys, Matt Barcham here from Warrior Fitness and Health, and I coach busy people to create fitter and healthier lifestyles with my PT, my boot camps and my nutritional consultation. Welcome to today's free live training. Now, some of you have been waiting for this, I know. So today's free live training is part 3 of 3 on how you can create your own transformation without any PT, without any coach, without messaging anybody online. You can follow all the steps in step 1, step 2, step 3, go away and create your own transformation absolutely for free. So if you've been watching this series, in session 1, you will know that free training was all about knowing your goal. And it was about how do you create a very, very specific goal instead of a grey goal. And if you don't know the difference between a specific goal and a grey goal, you need to go back and have a look at free training part number 1 of 3. And then in last week's free session, which was part 2 of 3, we worked out how to work out your commitment and how do you know what your weekly commitment is. And in that free training, I discussed the idea of knowing your commitment out of 168 hours in the week, or a 7-day week, or a 10-day pattern, etc. And you being very crystal clear when you're going to give commitment to those goals. So are you going to give Monday to Friday commitment, have weekends off? Are you just going to do weekends and have the week off? Are you going to do 4 days on, 3 days off? And to get the details of knowing your commitment, you need to go and see part 2. So again, backtrack through the feed, go and have a look at part 1 and part 2. So by now, if you've followed the steps and you've took this serious, you should have a very crystal clear specific goal. You should know what your commitment level is, and you're ready for part number 3 of 3. And part number 3 is to plan your actions. So to tie this all together, in my experience as a coach in over 30 years of doing this, this is what I see. So most people know crystal clear what their specific goal is. Majority of people know what their commitment level is. So they're going to do some exercise and nutrition Monday to Friday and then have the weekends off and all that sort of stuff. And then there's a small percentage of people that don't know the goal, don't know the commitment level, and they're definitely failing on step number 3, which is to plan your weekly actions. Okay, this is how most people set out their exercise for the week. They do something like this. On a Sunday, while they're chilling, watching telly, or they've had their Sunday dinner or whatever, they start thinking about the work week ahead and thinking about their commitments. So what hours are they working? Where have they got to go for work? What have they got to do? Any plans or commitments with the family and husbands and wives and kids and grandkids? And then they start thinking about exercise and they start doing things like this. Hey, I might do some exercise on a Monday night, probably going to do something on a Wednesday, and if I get a chance on Friday, I might go for a run. And that's how they plan their week. Now, that is not a plan. That is an absolute wish list in the hope that Monday goes okay and they can get out to some exercise on a Monday and they've got the willpower, the energy, the motivation, etc. Of course, by the time the week goes on, the Wednesdays, the Thursdays and the Fridays, and we get more fatigued from work, children, commitments, family, routines, and the willpower bucket is starting to drain, exercise can drop off through the week because we haven't got a crystal clear plan of how we're going to meet our commitment and how we're going to get to our goal. Now, step number 3 of 3, it turns into a bit of a vicious circle now, because if we haven't got a crystal clear goal and we haven't got a crystal clear, this is our commitment level through the week, we can't make a crystal clear weekly plan on how we get the commitment level to move closer to the goal. Likewise, if we've got a crystal clear goal and we've got our commitment level sorted, but we don't make a plan, we're never going to get these two. And we can't actually make a plan if we haven't got a crystal clear goal and a commitment level. So step number 3 becomes a little bit a little bit grey in the fact that if we haven't done 1 and 2, we can't really plan for number 3. And if we plan number 3 really well, but it doesn't match the commitment and the goal, we're working towards another goal and we're going off on a tangent. Now, let me show you how complicated this needs to be. I'm going to show you my weekly plan for this week's exercise that I did on Sunday. Are you ready for my very complicated plan? Stand by. There we go. It's on a post-it. I've wrote about 6 words. Okay, right, here's the thing. From this plan, I know what training I'm doing on Monday. I know what I'm doing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And I've planned the weekend off. So I know my crystal clear goal. I know my commitment is Monday to Friday. And I know I'm having the weekend off. I only ever do my training at one gym. And I always do it in the morning, either before, in the middle or after my clients. So that's a little snippet into the correct way how you can create a crystal clear weekly plan. Now, I'm going to take you back to some research, some habit psychology research. In habit formation, there's something called an implementation intention. An implementation intention sounds dead technical. All it means is getting very specific on what you're going to do, when, where, with whom, what you're going to actually be doing, and for how long. So instead of going, I'm going to do some exercise on Saturday, that's a wish list. An implementation intention is, this Saturday, I'm going to attend Warrior Outdoor Boot Camp in Dordon Park at 8:20 for a 8:30 start. I'm going to meet this person there. I'm going to be training with Coach Matt and the rest of the Warriors, and I'm going to do a full 40-minute session. When you plan an activity like that, you're saying yes to that activity and no to getting your hair done and getting your nails done and meeting your mate for a coffee and having a lie-in. Because if you just go, I'm going to do something on Saturday morning, and the better offer comes in, the hair, the nails, the coffee, the lie-in, the whatever, you're more likely to choose what is the best option and forget totally about your goal. But when you make an and you will know about an implementation intention because you already do it with haircuts, the dentist, often a pet appointment, often a doctor's appointment. So I need to be at the doctor's, at Doctor's Dordon Surgery on Thursday at 4:15. That stops you doing anything else for an hour either side of that, because you know the doctors are probably going to run over, but you need to get to your appointment. So the summary of part 3 of 3, how to correctly plan your week, matching your commitment level using an implementation intention. You need to get very crystal clear on a piece of paper or a diary or a journal or maybe in your phone with reminders. What days, what times, what are you going to be doing, with whom, how long are you doing it for, and how many of those sessions through the week. So, your homework, because this is part 3 of 3, when I turn this video off, you have got absolutely everything you need to create your own transformation. You now know how to set a very specific goal. You now know how to sort out your commitment level, either out of 168 hours in the week or through 7 days in the week, or if you've got some weird shift pattern, you might go 4 days on, 4 days off. You now know how to plan your week properly. Let me tell you what my training plan is for tomorrow, just to drive this home. It's not going to be, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow morning and do some training. My very specific, clear plan for tomorrow, and I need to have a look at my list. Right. My plan is tomorrow at 8:15, I will be going to Gym Unity to do 45 minutes of HIIT style cardio on my own. So I've got the location, the time, what I'm going to be doing, for how long and when. It's very, very specific. So here's your homework. If you haven't seen part 1, you need to go and find that. If you haven't seen part 2, you need to go and find that. If you've seen parts 1 and 2, you now need to do part number 3, where you're coming up with your weekly plan. And your weekly plan can change every week as long as it matches your commitment level, as long as it matches tying in and moving you closer to your goal. Once you've done that, you've got everything you need to create your own transformation. You don't need any further help. The only other further help you might need is accountability from a coach, and a coach's help for you to design specifically what you should be doing. For example, if your very specific goal is to lose 14 pounds of body fat in 14 weeks, 3 yoga sessions per week will not help you achieve that, because yoga is for joints and core and stability. There is very little fat burning that goes on in a yoga session. It is the wrong modality for that goal. Just like strength training is the wrong modality if you want specific supple lumbar spine joints. You might need to do a different type of training. So you've got everything you need for your own transformation. Now you've got parts 1, 2 and 3. And if you've missed any of them and you can't find them, message me. I will send you the links. The only other help you might need is the help of a coach to get very specific. What specifically do you need to do to get to that goal? And then you can work out your commitment, your implementation, intentional plan your week, and then you know you're doing the correct stuff to move you closer to that goal. It has been an absolute pleasure to help you create your own transformation for absolute free over the last 3 weeks. Next week, I'm going to be releasing some free training. I'm going to tie all this together, where I'm going to do a summary of part 1, part 2 and part 3, just to make sure you've got the sort of the nuts and bolts and all of the understanding that goes with it. I hope this is found really useful for you. If I can help you figure out the correct type of training for your goal, your commitment and your weekly plan, or you want to take this training to the next level and get more accountable, excuse me, ask me about my PT, ask me about my boot camps, ask me about my nutrition. It's been an absolute pleasure to help you with this one. I'll see you next week in the consolidation session, which is going to be session 4. Love you all loads. See you soon.